just go on Overhaul. Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to United View. Welcome to another morning view. Welcome to another show. Smash a like on the video, man, as always. Straight away, just get it done. Walk straight in the door.
Yeah.
Smash the like button. You know what I mean? Take your shoes off, get comfortable, smash the like button. Just straight away. And also the subscribe button. And while you're at it, you may as well hit the notification button as well, so you know exactly when we're going live, what's going on. You will never miss a video. As McPherson says right there, says, please like and subscribe, guys. And Daniel Luciano says, morning, Flex. Morning, Flex and Owen. Big up, UV fam. Good morning, fella says, Flip. Javi says, Flex, Owen, UV fam. Big up. Aslan says, big up, UV. Like up, Nabamaclat. Right up the team.
I thought I was going to read that one out.
No, I got
was going to be.
you know
what I mean?
No,
yeah,
it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
You better watch out because you are comfy, but don't.
You're good. I don't have to. You know what I mean? You don't have to.
You better watch out because we are comfy.
Yeah, exactly. Dreadlocks Rastafari. Tabra says, good morning, Famalam as well. And Edsel says, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big up to everyone. We got a big show this morning. We're going to be talking about the summer transfer plans because Fabrizio said that Man United are looking for a number 9 who can score goals and a support striker /10 to play alongside him. That is what we need. Amorim also wants intensity as well. And there was a lot on the summer exits as well. So a lot to get our teeth into and everything else in between. Do you know what I'm saying? As you can see on the sidebar there, before it goes away, you can join the membership as well. You get your exclusive badges. You get your exclusive UV Raw content. You get your... There you go. Yeah. You get your exclusive emojis as well. Different colors, different badges, different content as well. So make sure you check out the members only content and also the full-time view as well, because after each and every game, you get the chance to have your say and call in as well. So yes, members only, big up to you. Use your perks. Remember your members only chats as well. Priority chats, exactly. Yeah. And while you're at it, if you haven't followed us on all the other social media platforms,
just go for every sidebar this morning.
Just go for it. Threads, Facebook,
Trinity's out as well. There's now
Trinity is out now. Make sure you check that out. And the next Trinity is coming on Friday. Yeah,
Friday,
6 p.m.
Yeah.
And the Flexing KG show is today at 7 p.m.
Tuesday.
Live.
Live.
BKG, of course. So there you go. We're just going through all of the stuff to keep you guys reminded of what's going on. Monday to Friday, of course, you are here right now, 9 a.m. So let's get into this Fabrizio Romano situation. He's basically saying that we're in for a striker, which is no surprise, and a 10, which is no surprise.
Yes, exactly. I mean, this is where it does get quite interesting with all of this kind of stuff, doesn't it, Flex? Because as you said, Fabrizio Romano said that Manchester United's intention, with the keyword being on intention this summer, is to sign at least one player who can play behind the striker, i.e. a number 10, one centre forward, a proper number 9 who can score goals regularly. No kind of side swipe there to Rasmus Højlund or Joshua Zirkzee, which we signed in the last 2 summer transfer windows. Which is quite interesting. It also says that Ruben Amorim keeps telling Manchester United how crucial it is to bring in players who can give intensity to this squad. This is the key word that will dominate the summer transfer window for Manchester United.
I'm so glad. I was talking about that word loads, like when I was cussing on the after the Leicester game. It's that. But I physicality, intensity.
This is why I was losing my head during the Leicester, because on Friday, and it already feels like a lifetime ago, by the way.
Yeah,
Friday, I was properly losing my head. Usually, when it's a KG and me match view, one of us will have a breakdown at some point, and usually it's him. Friday it was me. Friday it was me. And the reason I was losing my head is because I kept having these like flashbacks in my mind of after the Liverpool game when we drew and after we knocked Arsenal out the FA Cup. And I saw all of these interviews with these players and they were coming out and basically being like, yeah, You know what I mean? This is the level. This is the intensity that you need to. This is this level of commitment that you need to bring to beat the big teams. And this is what the head coach has been talking about. Ruben Amorim's been saying intensity, and we've delivered. It's up here, Flex. It's up here, and we delivered. And then right after this, go back to type. And that's why when they say those things in those interviews, I'm not listening. I'm not listening to you because you're a liar. you're lying. You know what I mean? You could come out and you can say this stuff, but when you played Leicester at home, you're going to just like, walk about for a bit and just kind of pass in the horseshoe and then come back. And then it's like,
And worse still, Owen, allow them to play at their pace as well.
Yeah,
instinct to go after it. And I just, Dorgu looked like he was our best player in the first half, by like marginal, you know what I mean? Because it was rubbish. But I was saying to Bradley, we both said,
he hasn't been infected
the reason
yet.
why, and the reason why he looked right, because he was just doing a couple of basic stuff, like such bog standard, like, I'm going to pass you this ball, and instead of just standing straight there looking at you, I'm going to run that way. So Luke Thomas is just going to have to engage or do something. Oh, he's fouled me. I've won as a free kick. Like, just basic. I've got the ball. I'm going to try and take him on and get across. Oh, it's hit off him. It's gone for a corner. Like, just basics. Whereas everybody else was literally taking a touch, receiving the ball sort of on their front foot, facing the goal. So they have to go back the way they just came, not sort of opening out their body shape so they can, take the ball forward, not looking to do that. Leicester did press us in a good way. I will say that, because their wingers just went, right, just wait for it to get, because they're going to do the horseshoe thing. Let the centre backs do it. Let them do it. As soon as it hits one of them wing backs, go. And then all it was happening, it's the same thing that happened in our first game against Ipswich, when Dallo had to keep making that pass infield, where we then either need to hook it long to Højlund or to nobody, or into that midfield space. And 9 times out of 10, they would just pick the ball up. So it was painful. So the fact that word intensity, it's on and off the ball. And I just think it's easier to have, actually, against like City, Liverpool, Arsenal, that's the games that we won, where we're like, or did well in, where we're like, tell you what, I thought we'd lose heavily. Those games, in a weird way, you kind of don't have to show as much intensity across the whole 90 minutes. There was a lot of soaking it up, being organised, frustrate them.
It's a big game, Flex. You know what I mean? It's a big game. The atmosphere's up. No disrespect to Leicester or Southampton when you play at home, but obviously you were there. Like, it gets quiet because there's this element of expectation, isn't there? And what really scared me, actually, because you don't hear this much from the Old Trafford crowd. Usually, like, if they're not happy with what they're seeing, they'll just be quiet. They're not big on the boos, or they're not big on. They'll maybe have a groan if they want to have people to go forward a little bit. Yeah. But on Friday, and this was only like 30 minutes into the game, the amount of times that, people picked up the ball inside United half, whether it's centre backs, whether it's midfielders, and they'd have a look and then go backwards, and you heard the crowd go, "Oh, come on!" Like literally, or start going
forward.
Start doing something. And it reminded me of that Southampton game, where I remember after that Southampton game. And I hope people see this now. We won that game, and it was a late winner, and turned it around. Ahmad got the hat trick, and people were jubilant. And it was like, okay, great. Look, we won the game. Ahmad's got the hat trick. That's fantastic. But if you see that and you kind of skip over what happened throughout the majority of that game, that is really worrying. Like, Southampton are the worst team in the league. They are a championship side. That is what they are. And it's the same with Leicester. That Leicester team most likely is going to be playing in the Championship next season. They are not good. And for large portions of that game, they actually played us off the park. They played better football than us. They passed the ball around better than us. That is so alarming. And it's so alarming to the extent of when we do play Brighton or Palace or whoever at home.
That's why we can't
be surprised when we lose, because the signs are always there. It's not a one-off. You know what I mean? It's not a one-off game. It's not a one-off. We go, I just can't. I don't know where this performance came from today. It's not. We see it every week, especially at home. We see it every week. We see it at home. So that's where the sort of alarming part comes from. But when it comes to obviously it being in the FA Cup, is you get that situation where you go, look, FA Cup, it's just about getting through to the next round.
Just get through. Yeah, but that's what we're doing in the league. Tell you what, we're so shit. Just it doesn't matter how. If you can win, it don't matter. Don't matter against Southampton. We've got played off the park for 80 minutes. Ahmad scored a hat trick. We won the game. We got 3 points. Like we needed it, and that's how it's got that bad. That it's like, when do we flick into gear of like these performances, man? They need to get better. Obviously, from now we want to see that now, but it's not happening. And you're right. It's alarming. And when you pick up on these things, of course, if you're an optimist, like complete optimist, you go, listen, it's mid-season and don't worry about any of that. We're rubbish. We're rubbish. So just don't do it to yourself. Just believe, But then there is a bigger picture of like, there hasn't been any new manager bounce. There hasn't been any real improvement. The players don't look comfortable. But you don't want to make them too comfortable because they get comfortable and they throw you under the bus. But at the same time, they need to be comfortable enough to get us through to the end of the season. Managers adapt things. They're weaving within what they're doing. They find a way. We haven't really done that yet. But we're scraping by here and there. And, Amorim saying these things after the games, by the way. It's not like he sees something else. He said, what did he say against Leicester? He goes, it's poor. It's poor.
Yeah.
We beat Everton 4-0. He said, poor.
Even he said before, I can't remember which game it was. It was before one of the games recently, where even before the game, he said, "Look, obviously, hope to see a performance today. Hope to see like a, something a bit better." But even he knows when he goes, "But ultimately, we just got to get the win." But ultimately, we've got to get a result that will come first, and then because he realizes that you can't keep losing forever, and. Yeah, like I said, it's just rough. It's just rough. And the only thing is, we're in that weird stage now, aren't we? Where, for instance, we got Spurs this weekend. And you kind of, with Man United at the moment, you do know what you're going to get, but you also don't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
In a sense that, so when Leicester on Friday is a great example of this. Most people knew we were going to play like that. Most people
honestly, I had a thing in me like I thought, I think we'll probably be all right to that. 2-0 should be kind of like I said no drama, no, I didn't think we'd go 1-0 down, and I didn't think it'd be that bad. But then why have I not thought it'd be that bad?
Yeah,
we played against Southampton. We've
seen it. We've seen it. But you could still go, but I think we'll win. I think we'll win. And it's a bit like with Spurs at the weekend because we're Spurs. It's away. So it's different. We'll go like, well, actually, we'll probably play a bit better football. Actually, it'll be a better overall performance. Maybe we win. I don't know. Like when we played Fulham, you know what I mean? That was awful as well. Like last night when we got the draw came out, it's Fulham 5th round in the FA Cup. You went, we're at home. You go,
yeah.
I don't know.
But I could have, with some of the teams that were in there, but obviously, could have got a Plymouth at home or, whatever. But you're right. And all the other teams, they seem to have got someone slightly easier, Premier League opposition. But then you go, we've beaten them twice this season. It has not been comfortable viewing at all.
Both games have been horrible.
Both game last-minute goals, essentially, Both games, you go, Fulham should have, I'll tell you what, I don't know how we've come out of here and win that. Draw minimum, and then the one at Old Trafford, they were missing chances. But then so did we. Bruno was missing a couple of times. Like, they're just very close games against Fulham. They're on a knife edge every time, home or away. Fulham come and bop us for large parts at Old Trafford, and then we just take the win somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, well, last time we played in the FA Cup at Old Trafford is when they had all the red cards, wasn't it? That's the.
It's all going off Derby. Yeah,
exactly. And that's where all the famous came from.
Mitrovic lost his head. Willian sent off. Marco Silva head gone. Triple red card, mate. Luke Shaw.
There you go.
That's so bad. I remember just being like, what's happening here? This is mad. This is mental. Yeah. But yes, it's all going off. But Daniel Luciano actually says there, 4 away from 200 likes. So let's do that as well. Let's get that done. But yes, back to intensity and what Romano's sort of saying and demanding. Like, we really, really need it. Like, I'm sick and tired of watching this team just do everything in slow motion. Everything. Honestly, bro, like it's painful. It really, really is. And like, I'm starting to get quite resentful. I'm not going to lie. In terms of like, because I've been like driving like that intensely for, but now I'm like, fucking, I'm driving up here, like I'm getting really close to just being like, you know what? I've seen quite a few go, I ain't even going anymore. Like, let's just cover these from home. I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not. It's taken out 6 hours. I'm knackered. I'm this and that. Nah. And I'm going, look at this. Look at this foot. Look what you're doing.
This is why this is why I had the meltdown on Friday. It's because it felt like every pass was like, say, like a pinch. You know what I mean? And after like 20 minutes of just pinch, you go, it's one bad pass, you go, this is fucking shit. You know, like you just explode for no reason. And then you're like, it's just dry, isn't it? It's dry. Like I said, the horseshoe. And the worst is when you predict it. So you go like, right, I know now the ball is at, for instance, Patrick Dorgu, the right wing back.
Mm-hmm.
I know where the next 4 or 5 passes are going to go. Go. This is going to go from right centre back to middle centre back to left centre back to left wing back to middle centre back to Onana. Long. They've got the ball, and then you have to watch it for a minute happen, and then it happens, and you go. And then
because that's what we are.
That's what you do.
That's
and then
what we are. Yeah.
And again, look, and then we get to the end of the match. You won, so you're like, cool, fine, we won, we got out of it. But at the end, you feel physically exhausted by watching.
Yeah.
It. You know what I mean?
From them not running, from them playing slowly and doing piss all, I feel tired.
Yeah.
I feel agitated watching it.
You go, okay, right. And then you get to the end of it and you go, right, okay, game's over. Cool.
And that's why I didn't lose my head after that game in terms of like what I said about the team and Amorim, and I stand by it. It wasn't something I retract. But that's why I'm not like, I know there's this thing of like we have to be patient and like, you know, back everything and stuff. But and I do back the 100. Like I keep saying this, like I said it on that Flex's View I did. You know, you have to do the foolproof thing. Listen, I'm about to say some stuff. It does not mean I think the manager should leave. It does not mean I think he's a clown. He's not up to it. He's learning. He is learning. We forget Ruben is a young manager. He's going to make mistakes. He's a young manager who's up and coming, who has his ideas, he has his principles, and he's sticking to them. But he's also learning things along the way. He's already said sorry about 2 or 3 times. You know what I mean? In the first few weeks of the bloody doing the media stuff, he basically said, I've done more media here than think. Like, then he had to kind of retract that to be like, yeah, it's Man United. It's like, it's a bit different. Got to get used to that. Then offered up headlines. I shouldn't have offered that headline. I get too emotional. I'm a young guy. So then said something else. I can't remember what he said. Did he say something else about Rashford after he said, I'm not going to give any more headline? He said something else. No, that's it. He said the worst team ever.
Worst team
then
ever.
Then said I shouldn't have said that. And then he did something else. Then he said the comment about the trainer. The
60.
Yeah. Again, he might not have meant it like that. He goes, what I said is that I wouldn't put any player. But again, I've got to learn how to choose my words with these lot. Like
it's what we said with that Man United press. Yeah.
Exactly. They're ready. They're ready. And not even just the Man United, but the wider, like everything.
Yeah.
Like every pundit is just on it. And even us as fans, we're on it. We're like, okay, so what does that mean? Right. So you're saying that about Ron.
Should you have said that? Shouldn't he said that?
Do you know what I mean? You know? So he's learning. And then you talk about his actual team selection and what he's doing. Okay, now I realise Marcus Rashford can't play through the middle from Ipswich. I'm not doing that again. You know, I played Casemiro and bloody Ericsson against Newcastle. Bloody hell. Not doing that ever again. Played Cobby as a 9. Probably won't do that again. Some players on the wrong side, you know, this, that, and the other. But then he's persisted with other stuff of like, Dallo, no, I need you keep playing there. Dorgu's come straight in, but nope, go on the right. Like he's learning stuff. So I've got no problem with like, that will balance out in time. You'll look back. I believe we'll look back on them things and be like, remember when Amorim used to do this? Remember when he used to do that? And that's fine. You can learn, but we are still allowed to talk about this whole thing. Do you know what I mean?
This is the other part of it is, and I, you know what? This is when it comes back to, you know, new information. You're allowed to change your opinion on things. We are fans at the end of the day, and human beings. You shouldn't be stuck in just the same, dogged idea. And even if you know that information's changed. I said when Ruben Amorim came in that some of these players, they should be able to adapt. Some of these players are international footballers and professional footballers. They should be able to adapt. A lot of them can't. A lot of them can't. Some of them are just fundamentally not good. Not good. Because it is no coincidence when you do see like Southampton, Leicester come to Old Trafford and they pass the ball around legitimately better than us. Legitimately. And this is the best sort of, I guess, experiment for it is they've got the same coach that we had at one point this season in Ruud van Nistelrooy, and he couldn't get him to pass the ball better either. He can do it at Leicester. He couldn't do it at Man United. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
The players. The difference there is the players. Some of those players are just fundamentally not good enough. And it might not even be necessarily a quality thing. Sometimes, as Ruben Amorim's talking about, it's an intensity, sort of a mentality version of intensity too. Is that, can they do it? Can they play well when the pressure's not so high? Probably. We've seen that before as well. As we've said, the United shirt weighs heavy, and on some of them can't handle the pressure. They, clearly can't handle what what Ruben Amorim wants of them. I mean, I thought it was really eye-opening in one of his last press conferences that Ruben Amorim was effectively kind of going, some of them I can't actually sort of get the best out of, or some of them I can't. Some of them I can't
do it.
coach
Sometimes
as well
you admit defeat,
as maybe others can, because some of them can't do what I want them to do. That speaks volumes, doesn't it? So when we're talking about these sort of summer transfer plans, it is going to be a busy summer. It's going to be really interesting to see how we maneuver it all in the summer, because we're still going to have the same, PSR issues. We're going to finish where we're going to finish in the league too, which is going to hurt us financially. Of course it is. I mean, European football, you never know, in the sense of Europa League. I saw Don Robbie trying to put the pressure on Fleck on KG Rod the other day, being like, you better win the Europa League. You know what I mean? You better you win the Europa League.
He done a massive wait a minute yesterday. Oh, it was the best. It was the best.
What I mean? So, and look, and when you look at that Europa League table, again, in your mind, you go, it's not great teams, but then also we're not great, FA Cup, like you said, the draw has opened up for us, certainly, in terms of the other teams that have gone out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we still beat Liverpool and City last year to win it.
I think in one-off games, I was saying yesterday, I was like, before the draw, I was like, listen, I know it sounds like, oh, listen to you, you're 13th in the league. But in the context of us understanding our team, if we drew City, this round at home or away or whatever, I'm not like, oh my God, fucking hell, we're out. Oh, like we've proved in them types of games. Not to Arsenal. Yeah, exactly. When I thought no chance. Like we can on a one-off, even last season when we were absolutely awful as well. We beat Liverpool, we beat City on that run. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and in both of those games, we went into those games going, we're definitely losing.
100%. Yeah.
We're definitely
couldn't see a way of winning. Couldn't see it. You know what I mean? And then that, especially the final performance, was really good, considering how we nullified them. And it was only really Onana doing Onana stuff that let them back in the game and made it a bit nervy. Because other than that, we had them. We had them where we needed. So yeah, in one-off games against the big teams, like I said, we're probably set up more for that. Actually, we got Arsenal coming in a couple of weeks, whatever, to Old Trafford. I'm like, that'd be interesting to see. I think we'll frustrate them for large parts and probably do all right. But I just think it has opened, like you said, the draw has opened up. So the big teams kind of got kept away from each other. I wanted maybe one draw to be like, Newcastle against Villa or something, get one of them, or City against Buddy. Who else is in it? I don't know, City against Newcastle maybe. But, it wasn't to be. So, but in the next round, bless you, in the next round,
thank you.
That will probably happen because, I think with the ties that were made this draw, fingers crossed, if you go with the odds of that, the ones who should go through, you would imagine that all them teams are still there, which there's probably not much escaping in the quarters, to be honest.
But but then again, you go back to like the transfer stuff and you look at what we're going to need. in the summer. Things are going to get legitimately better. And obviously, look, there'll be things of like, yeah, we'll have a preseason, we'll have time with the players, blah, blah, blah. But things are going to get better. As Fabrizio Romano said earlier on, we need a striker. Oh my God, do we need a striker? We don't. It is, to me, insanity that we've done 2 summer transfer windows in a row where we have bought a striker to solve our striking problem. And for a third summer window in a row, we're going, need actually a real striker. Need a real striker. That same mistake cannot happen this summer. It cannot.
But we've
Like,
been
just
saying
from a financial point of view,
ages,
like
bro.
that can't happen. The 10, I don't know who that would necessarily be. Obviously, a lot of people going with Cunha from Wolves. He's got the release clause now, which is like, what was it, 62 million? I think it's going to be something like that. But once again, a bit like we saw with Xerxes in the summer, is that like up front, here's 62 million pounds? Because if that is, we can't do that. We have to do we have to do Klarna stuff. That's how we even agreed the Xerxes one in the first place. You would also think if we're going to go for a striker, is that the end for Højlund or Xerxes or one of them?
I was just about to say, all elite. I think it's down this road. I think one of them's got to go. Personally, I don't know. You never know. It's not guaranteed, but I think one would. I'm with all elite. I suppose one would go. I'd probably say Højlund. I think they might, if he continues like this, and a Serie A team comes in 20 million, 25 million or something, 30 maybe, I don't know, but I think they could cash in because Amorim's not having him. He's not having him. I know you got to wait, improvement, etc., but he's not showing anything. He's not showing anything. Xerxes lucky it's his first year, so they might go. We'll see.
There was still
even that.
Stronger stories linking him out in January than there were really with Højlund. I mean, I think I saw again this morning they were saying, like Juventus, no, they proper asked for him in January, but obviously because 50. Of what happened with Bologna, obviously last season with Xerxes, which impressed everyone in Italy. It's a bit like with us, I suppose, over here in England. If someone does well in the Premier League and they go abroad, we don't pay attention what they do abroad, but we remember what they did in the Premier League, so we go, get him back. Get him back in.
And Serie A, the type of football, they'll probably be confident they can get him going again or whatever. It's no different. Like they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Like, Betis saw Anthony and went, nah, listen, tell you what, like, get him in. Get him in. Like, we can, and I know he's got 2 man of the matches in a row. But
bring back new contract.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to say that, but they're going to be like, no, this is the level. This is good. It's great for us. And no disrespect, but that's sometimes the players find the level and sometimes they leave. And like you say, they supersede us because they go to better run clubs. But like, look at Elanga. Look at Elanga now. My son, 3rd in the Premier League. Everyone talking about him, getting assists galore. And if he keeps playing like that, you could argue it's like, get a move. Like, could go.
Well, Forest turned down a big bid from Newcastle, didn't they? For Elanga, wasn't it?
See, and that's like, imagine him on the right at Newcastle all of a sudden. You go, probably not that step, but under Eddie Howe, just be physical, run, quick, transitions, work hard. He's probably fitting on the right hand side.
Or you get what happens with like Sancho, who went to Chelsea, and
absolutely
the majority of United fans went, no, I'm telling you, like there's something not going right there or whatever. And a couple of games, cool, but then you'll get annoyed. And then I see at the weekend, Matisse is doing his Sancho impression. I'm like, okay, right. They've sort of realized the same thing. And thankfully that's obligation. That's guaranteed. He's not coming back, and then we're going to have to try and do that again. So, yeah, I don't. It goes to show, just like you said, sometimes it's the club, sometimes it's the player, sometimes it's both.
Yeah, FPL Frost says, I wonder if we can get Morgan Rogers in exchange for Rashford, him and Cunha and we're sorted for number 10s. I mean, that's some EAFC stuff. That's a great window if you could do that on PlayStation. But you never know. But I very much doubt it. Morgan Rogers is like the future.
But that's another one, isn't it? Like, it's funny, like you said, how sometimes success kind of changes that, because obviously the fact that he was at City at one point, but because City are successful and they did sell him for a small amount, they're like, well, people
can just discard that. Yeah.
People slip through the cracks or whatever. But if that was us and we had sold him for like 3.5 million, we'd be like, what have we done?
Yeah, why
is this the worst thing ever? But yeah, I don't think that Rashford one that was going to happen. I mean, that did tickle me as well at the weekend. I suppose actually, to be fair, Flex,
you haven't. Yeah, Yeah, go.
Let's move on to this thing. This was posted up by TNT Sports earlier on, saying that Anthony Martial hasn't missed a single game through injury this season, Flex, and is averaging a goal involvement every 120 minutes for new side AEK Athens. Now, as you can imagine, what the response to that would be on social media, that gets into very much, see, this is the problem, we're the problem. Do you think too much will be made of something like that?
There's different ways of looking at it.
Like Glorioso says, they know what they're doing with that one. TNT.
100%. It's to rile up the fans, and the same thing will start to happen with Anthony as he goes on his journey. And it won't be long before we start getting the Rashford stats once he's there for a little bit longer and played some more games. We had it with Sancho until, ironically, it goes so quiet you can't post the stats of what Sancho's been doing in the last 11 games, because if we talk about that, it's extremely uncomfortable for, Sancho lovers, and it's all Man United's fault, and Sancho's the second coming of Christ because he's the next Ronaldo and Messi. He's amazing. He's this, that, and the other. When the truth is that Sancho's got a lot of ability, but does he apply himself properly with the intensity needed to be a top draw player, with the consistency needed to be a top draw player? No. That's it. I don't care what fanboy you want to do, whose arse you want to kiss. He's this, he's that, he's there, he's man there. But I don't give a shit. Just call out what you see. And it's the same with Martial. Again, talented, good touch, good feel for the game, good technically. Lost a little bit of pace as these injuries affected him, so he wasn't that marauding winger that can cut in and shake and bake as he used to. But in certain leagues, like, he could still play on the left. I've seen him out there drifting into left-hand side positions, watching some comps of what he's been doing out there for AEK in Greece. Like, the levels as well. Like, okay, that's fine, no problem. But it's Greece. It's not playing in the Champions League. Let's not, again, if we're going to use that to gas up how good he is, why is he playing at AEK Athens? How was that? What does that mean?
Why was that the destination? You know what I mean? When his contract expired. And also as well, because of that, so remember, he was on 250K per week. His injuries were so bad towards the end of his Man United tenure that affected, when we thought he was going to come back in like around this time last year, wasn't it? It was like February time. And we just never really saw him again because his agent was like, oh yeah, he's got to have surgery on this. He's got to have surgery on that, to get himself fit, because he knew what I've been doing recently, physically, I can't get away with that anywhere else. Like, I won't get a club. Where I have to go next, I have to be able to play all the time.
So when they fix them things, you're not in a rush to fix it then when the contract's at the end. And this is what I'm saying. It's like, it's the mentality of the players and what's happening. Like, and we spoke about this before we went live, Owen, actually. Like, when Martial played, even the limited minutes, goals to game ratio,
goal involvements, they were always really there. Good. Yeah.
Getting assists, getting goals. Just couldn't play that often. So he's got ability. You can't say he's total rubbish. But if you don't apply yourself or you're not readily available, the same reason with Cuss Mason Mount, he's not available. Same reason with Cuss Luke Shaw, he's not available, mate. So if Luke Shaw leaves Man United after 10 years and all of a sudden he's playing for bloody Lecce and he can play every week, then, okay, well then...
we'll have the side. I won't go...
What was you doing then? Exactly. What was you doing? You've got to look at the individual. So are you looking after yourself better now? Or, okay, you could say the club training and stuff, but also you could say the demands of where you're going. You're not playing in the Premier League every week. So I think, because Man United is so bad, it's very difficult to nail down like opinions on things, because it's very difficult to say something is 100% this or 100% that, because we've been in this mess for ages. But I do think we have this weird thing amongst our fan base and others, actually football fans, but I'll talk for us because I know us the most. Like, we have this weird thing where we start, even amongst the shit, we start calling out the wrong people. So basically Bruno will get cussed, like, because obviously White might play like this and he gives the ball away, he's not great technically, whatever, but he get numbers and that. But that's apart from GA merchant, what does he do and all that? But he's readily available, puts it in and plays the game in the right way. Yeah. But then someone who like doesn't apply themselves like that, or aren't as available or whatever, or haven't done as much, even amongst the shit, get like lauded, get idolized, get like, do you know what I mean? Bring Pogba back because he's this. Sancho will go Chelsea and cook. Look at what he's doing at Dortmund after 2 games. Fuck me, like he's doing nothing, guys. Like at least wait for them to fully cook, like a full on like, look at what this guy's doing. I mean, bloody hell, like this is the Dortmund side. Like wait for that. And I'm using that Courtstar says flex on Bruno payroll. I'm using him as an example. You know, Garnacho was another one, young kid. I'm not saying he's the best. Frustrates the hell out of me half the time, but like he applies himself and he's trying to better himself. You see a little bit here and there, and versus players we just don't see. Like,
yeah, well, but
but
I think this is the phenomenon about absence makes the heart grow fonder. Yeah, because this is what happened with Marcus Rashford before he moved on loan to Villa, which was so when they play, they're awful, they're terrible. They're not running around enough. That intensity is that's not good enough, Flex. It's not, we spoke about earlier, intensity, it's not good enough. When he was out of the side for 6 weeks, suddenly towards the end of it, it was like, oh, it could have been good to have back, actually. It'd been good to have in the sides there, would have been good. And you go, this is the maddening part. It's like the Pogba thing again, going, did we just forget? Did we just like literally Men in Black, we went like this, we pressed the button, we forgot all the anger stuff, like from that time ago. Yeah, and then we just went, actually, no, I want him back now. It's like that doesn't make any sense.
And then when you call that out, you get accused of like, oh, you don't understand how good he is, or you've Man United fans keep throwing players under the bus and you back this stupid club or whatever. Like, I've had loads of discussions with like a lot of people about this and disagreed with loads. Like some of my friends, like, but Marshall, but look at Højlund, look how dead he is. I agree. Like ability, I agree. Like it's a massive downgrade in terms of like the technical level, like the understanding of the game. But like that, the problem isn't necessarily moving on from Marshall. That's not the problem. The problem is you've replaced him with Højlund. That's
and it's also, like you said, it's the perception of, I guess, both of them, isn't it? It's the perception of what Martial was when he was here, even though we didn't see him much for like 3. He didn't play a full 90 for 3 years, and we're now trying to start the thing of because he's doing well.
Give him a new deal then
in Greece. That was like, right, you know what I mean?
It's mad.
What? Yeah. And even like the McTominay stuff, like McTominay, he scored 10 goals for us last season. This season, he scored 7 for Napoli. So you'd go, he's probably on the same trajectory to probably get about 10 goals, 10 or 11 goals. So he's doing the same thing.
Because he's going to win the league and they're all looking like they're going to do it.
And because we don't see it every week, we only see what he scores. That's another one. And you go, is it? Is it really?
But then it's about how you could use
with the goals, obviously.
That's what I was going to say, because it depends how you play. Because he works really hard. He's a good pro, McTominay. If you put him in the right environment, like if McTominay played for Newcastle, like he could play in that midfield with like Joe Linton, Bruno. Do you know what I mean? Like running around, high energy, make him crash the box. He could be the most advanced out of Joe Linton, Tonali. Whatever. Do you know what I mean? He could play in there. He could play just off the front. You know what I mean? So in the right team, he could be effective. And we saw that even in our team, which is a horrible team. He can still be effective. But it doesn't mean you base everything around him. But there are different conversations to say, well, if you provide the right environment, you build the right squad, someone like McTominay could be quite useful. But how we're constructing our squad and what we're doing, he hasn't.
But then again, it's just the narrative's funny because I remember McTominay would score goals last season and people would almost be annoyed that he scored. Well, this is going to mean that, you know, he still needs to go. He scores goals just in another shirt. We shouldn't have left. We shouldn't have sold him.
And are we going to forget?
Tom Robbie. The Tom Robbie thing.
No, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Are you going to forget, like, when he takes a bad time? I mean, Holkin says he wasn't a good pro. He's a coward player who hides from the ball. Stop it. I don't agree with that. He is a good pro. He is a good pro because his attitude is right. His temperament is right. His intensity is right. He always plays the game with right intensity. That's just ability. He doesn't have the ability to take the ball in tight spaces.
He wasn't good enough for where you'd want to go for me.
Exactly. So loads of times we see the ball bounce off him. He couldn't pass forward, or because those types of things we asked him to do, he's not off it. But you can't call him a bad pro. I disagree with that. Let's get super chats out. Crazy name. I'm just going to call you that. I'm just going to Mr. Goodness. Shout out Goodness. Jokeres says, Jokeres Cunha Kenda. changes the squad, but 160 million. Yeah, just a light 160. A light 160. Joe Fleming says, we should call this show the Moaning View, because let's face it, we're all here to have a good moan, myself included. I very rarely send a positive super chat. Yeah, that's true. We could call it the Moaning View. Swap out a couple of those letters in the middle there, I suppose.
Yeah.
All Elite says, it's not about the 9. It's about the players behind who can get the ball into them. Get me proper wing-backs and 10s first. I know it's a risk. Glory, Man United. Glory, United view. I hear what you're saying there. And Daniel Luciano says, Amorim is doing a great job holding players accountable and clearing them out. I can't lie, though. Wish Manu and Garnacho looked better in this system. And we said that when he was on his way in. What does that mean for Manu then? What does that mean for Garnacho? I don't really know how they're going to have to take time to adapt, because now they look, especially Cobby, was screaming the 10 thing. But don't play the 6.
This is what's funny, Flex, because this is why I always
now
say,
he's not the generational talent that you have to build the team around anymore.
We don't know as a fan base what we want. We don't, because when it comes to, I'm glad that he's holding players accountable, but then a criticism of him recently is that he's been too honest. You can't be that honest. Don't be that honest about some of the players, or don't be you're throwing some of the players under the bus, or you're making things difficult for yourself. So again, it's back to what do you necessarily want? For someone like Garnacho, who doesn't fit into the system, let's be honest, he came on against Leicester, he changed the game. We didn't have a shot on target in the first half. And as bad as Garnacho's end product still was really in that game, it still wasn't great and missed chances. He was unlucky with the one that got cleared off the line. It's something to be said about someone that was actually just going to move forward, run forward, run at a player, do something, break the lines. And again, we could have lost that in January. And like you said, it's not necessarily the losing them that's the problem. It's what are you going to replace them with? What are you going to what you're going to bring in? Is that better? Is that more effective? People don't talk as much about someone like, say, Wan-Bissaka, because we're generally happy that we got Mazraoui in, and also the system changed, didn't it? System changed. Would Wan-Bissaka be able to be a right wing back? He'd probably be playing like right centre back or something like that now if he was still
exactly.
here.
Would,
so it's not that much. Not that much is really made of it, but it's more about who you replace him with. If we'd have sold Garnacho in January, would we have got Cunha in the 10? Probably not. We'll want to keep him for the rest of the season. No. So what would we have done? That's the concern.
100%. And obviously there was a big chance that he was going to go. We know that. Like, Amorim was so non-committal. Windows open, let's see. But I love having him. He's working hard. He's progressing well with it. But let's see. We don't know. Like, that was a genuine situation. Joe Fleming says, Wirtz and Musiala would be my dream summer signings. I mean, wouldn't it just for... That'd be a dream for Real Madrid. That's, you know what I mean? Wirtz and Musiala would be insane. We're way off that. Joe Fleming says, the media's job is to get everyone sacked, not just us. And Red Baron says, hashtag Pogback 2025. And a little bit of on this day, 1 year ago today, Scott McTominay came off the bench and scored that great header against Villa as well. So a year ago today. And actually, this is interesting. Actually, really quickly, Samuel Luckhurst did a piece. We all covered it yesterday because we've seen the Kienda stuff since Ornstein dropped the Ornstein bomber. So we knew that from 31st of Jan, he put that out. And then there's been a few more since then. And now Luckhurst is on it. He's done a piece saying the same thing. Man United still open to signing Giovanni Quenda. It doesn't really say anything new. It says Man United remain open to signing him despite the arrival of Dorgu. United met with influential agent George Mendes in November. There you go. As now negotiating on behalf of the 17-year-old and his representative. So basically, it's in motion. They're trying to get that done.
What did you make of that? The Patrick Dorgu thing on Friday? Because obviously, when he came in, and we all said, Manchester United have signed their left wing back. It's the emphasis on left wing back that Ruben Amorim wanted. And then, of course, he played right wing back. And after the game, he was talking about, actually, no, he can play it, right back, right wing back. We looked at him for that.
Yeah.
Does that mean once again that we're going to be going like, is he going to be playing there? Are we still going to have the same problems?
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that because probably not. And here's why. I mean, Samuel Luckhurst has also said Patrick Dorgu is expected to be primarily used as a left wing back in the future rather than on the right. Don't know if he's got that from a little in-house thing. And I think we have to get a bigger sample size out of Dorgu first before we go. this is ridiculous. He's actually our right wing back. Like, what's going on? And Kienda has actually had a position change since Amorim's left. He now plays on the left. He's now playing at left back. They've switched to a 4-4-2 because they sacked the manager who came in after Amorim, which went terrible. He kept the 3-4-3, but obviously they got licks, and the new guys come in, and now apparently they play a 4-4-2. This is what, like I said in his piece, because however, Dorgu is expected to be primarily used on the left in the future, and United head coach Amorim wants attack-minded wingers in service. And he says that obviously they're both left-footed. Where was the bit where he said?
Because that was the thing that people were saying on Friday, was that if we got Quenda, both of them are left-footed, and Amorim actually likes to have two left-footed players, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna happen anyway. Yeah. He said he scored 2 goals and tallied 7 assists this year. He started 18 of the 21 games in the league this season, and all 8 in the Champions League. The Portugal international has now switched from right wing to left wing since Amorim left Lisbon in November, with Sporting now operating a 4-3-3 under new coach Thiago Aguila. Amorim's replacement, João Pereira, obviously was sacked after only 8 games. Pereira retained Amorim's back 3 system, but Aguila has opted for a back 4, sometimes with a second striker to partner Victor Gyökeres. So basically, Kenda now playing at left wing back is not, or left back is he can. Do you know what I mean? He can do it.
And that was the thing said about Dorgu. To be fair, when we signed,
they are versatile. Yeah,
was that he can play both sides, because we could only really afford to get one wing back in January. So I suppose you want to get someone that does both. I would like to see.
He's played most of his games on the left, though. I'm looking at sample size. So Dorgu in his whole career, which obviously isn't long, he only come through 23-24. So last year was when he started playing like Serie A anyway. But he's played 72 games at left backs, 15 games at left midfield, 11 games at right wing, 6 games at left wing, 3 games at right back, 2 games at right midfield. So his main position is left back. He's played most of his professional games at left wing, but he can play right wing. He's played 11 times on the right. Do you know what I mean? At right wing, couple at right mid, few at right back. So he has been versatile across his career. I know he's mainly played on the left, but Amorim's right. He can do both. So we have to just see. Maybe he's just trying him out. And I do think there could have been some mileage in that whole, it's his first game, I'm on that side, I want to coach him through it. I know he refrained from that. But I thought it would make sense. Just, talk to him, make sure you're in his ear, and see how he does. And look, he did all right the first half. If we're honest. So yeah. Someone needs to. Hold on. Oh, there's quite a few. Oh, wait a minute. Red Baron says someone in UV needs to be pushing Pog back agenda. No, well, it's up to everyone else. But I think
he's going with, it's a trolling comment from Red Baron.
Yeah,
I think it's
unless he wants KG to do it. United Love says new manager bounces when someone comes in and just lets the players be free and express themselves like Ollie did. No tactics, just pace and passion. Amorim is making them do things properly and they don't like it, so it's harder. Anyone could manage United if it was that easy. And the bits quick. I used to say this quite well, actually. Yeah, in Kubitstia, I'm going to say. Hope I've said that right. Let me know. 11 years of this. I love this club, man. I was 8 when I discovered gigs. All that greatness, and I'm now in my 30s watching this heartbreak, man. Yeah, just pain, bro. Absolute pain. The summer exits, though, the planned summer exits, we're looking at the same sort of people. There's people that will believe on freeze, and then we know the people are going to be up for the sales, really, in it.
It's the same, like I said, same sort of people anyway. Fabrizio Romano kind of opening up on this as well, talking about the likes of Casemiro, Christian Eriksen, Victor Lindelof, Johnny Evans, all expected to leave Manchester United this summer. More players can also leave based on proposal they've received. So basically, everyone's up, but those are the more sort of guaranteed. When it comes to like Eriksen, Lindelof, Johnny Evans, you would say, well, obviously, because their contracts are set to expire.
No, definitely.
Casemiro, at this point, I'm refusing to go into the territory of like he's definitely going to leave, because we've done that for how many the last couple of transfer windows. So until like they used to say, until they're holding up the shirt, I will not buy it until he's holding up the shirt, because I don't know. I don't see that one. I mean, I even saw stuff yesterday. Did you see that about how because the Brazilian transfer window shuts later, and they were like, he could go on loan.
Oh, he might be able to go there, yeah.
But then it was one of those ones where I was like, well, actually, what would be the point of that? Because
now, do we need bodies? Now, mate, there's some games you might need to use him. You might need to actually,
exactly.
He can pass the ball forward more than Ugarte does.
Exactly. So we might need him. So, but obviously, look, when it comes to the summer, but as is the case with a lot of them, it depends what he wants. He's got his contract for a couple more years. What was it? 2 more years? It was.
Well, no, 18 months he's got left, I think.
18 months.
Got a year left for the summer.
He might be like, well, I want to stay in Europe, so I'll just keep that. I've got a good contract, see it out and just see what happens. It's more the ones I suppose we have to focus on are the ones that are definitely going. Eriksen's definitely going. Lindelof's definitely going. Johnny Evans is definitely going. Who else is definitely going in the summer? Is that it in terms of contracts expiring?
In terms of freeze, yeah,
I think so.
In terms of free, Harry Maguire, we extended, we triggered the option, so retained a bit. So if someone comes in for him, I don't think he's going to go either. I think they keep him for 1 more year because we need a lot of centre backs, and you're already losing 2 in Evans and Lindelof. How are you going to buy 3? How on earth are you going to buy 3 centre backs when we need all these things? You're not going to be able to do it. So you keep him and then just let him go on a free at the end of the just let him go.
Yeah. Like I said, I could see a striker going. Højlund or
I think Højlund. Be interesting what happens with like a Mount or a Shaw, but people just won't come in because they've just been so injury prone. So I think they'll still.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if United do try and push it. If they try and push the issue, force the issue.
Yeah.
Obviously, with Rashford, it'd be interesting to see what happens. See what happens with Rashford, of course. With
Rashford's definitely not going to come back. He's not.
I think he's definitely just going to be interesting to see what happens with with Villa or does
Rashford might not stay there, but I think he'll come back to go again.
Does he still try and make enough noises to basically try and get Villa to not trigger the option?
I think he'll go there, do well, and then want something bigger. I think he will. Nah, he won't even be on tour. I don't even think, because I know we had to bring Sancho on tour with us, didn't we? And then he was like, "Yeah."
Do you think there will be that? Do you think that there would have been that like informal discussions between he and Barcelona of like, look, we just can't do it now. Give us until the summer.
Maybe he might have got that from quite a few clubs. He might have got that from AC Milan. Obviously, they chose to get Kyle Walker in the EU spots. They could only get one more anyway. Bundesliga, Dortmund might say maybe summer we can come back. Would he want to go there? I don't know.
As says there, Malacia's, there's a buy option for Malacia.
So Malacia. Yeah, he'll probably go. So
there's no buy option for Anthony,
to be honest,
to be fair,
no,
he'll probably end up going as well.
He'll go somewhere again. And the thing is
with
Rashford, I think they'll sell him. They'll find a way to sell him in the summer. I think.
Do you reckon they'll try and find a way to sell Anthony?
Yeah,
someone's going to pick up the contract.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, Betis picked up a lot of the fucking.
What we've learned is that, like, when we go, who the hell is going to pay Rashford's thing? Who's going to pay Anthony's thing? And the percentage as well that we've managed.
Yeah,
you're going. Well, it's doable if you negotiate right. You can. So I think Anthony will. I think Anthony will go in the summer. All Elite saying loan again as well. Maybe a season long loan, but I think he'll go. But yeah, we shall see. We shall see.
And it's a World Cup year as well, which factors into
people want
a lot too.
Yeah, exactly.
They need a season to play, otherwise they might not be getting World Cup squads.
But I think Rashford will do all right at Villa. I do. I think because you see straight away he's running around straight away. He's playing with it. He comes strayed on, jump for the header highest. I've seen him jump in ages. Like straight away.
It was funny. Like I think you saw the clip of I think he skipped past like a player or something. And was like, right, he's back.
and then there's the other one where he skipped past someone on the right, went to cross it and fouled the guy because he's obviously going to be a bit rusty as well. But and you could tell they were trying to give him the ball as much as possible, give him a feel for it, get the crowd up. There'll be a good feeling, and because Villa's got a good feeling about them right now. Rashford will be all right. He'll be fine.
It was wild, to be fair, to see him bring on Rashford and Asensio and be like, "This is Aston Villa." You know what I mean? You went,
exactly. He's playing in a good team, and because he's linking up with good players like Morgan Rogers, going to slide him in, and when Ollie Watkins gets there, they can bounce a pass off him, get it back. Like I think he's going to do all right.
They feel bigger, don't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They feel
100%.
They've got that like momentum.
They're really good, man.
big
I like
up,
watching
you
them. I
know.
like their players. I like the
And there's a
characters they got.
reason.
I
It
like the
was
manager.
beginning of last season, wasn't it? Beginning of last season when they got absolutely pumped by Newcastle. Remember Sir Alex being like, "I tell you what, Villa, they play some
Yeah, they
good
were
stuff," and
good.
people were like, "I know." But someone said it. They do play Sir Alex-esque football in the sense of direct, but an attacking direct that's actually quite good. Villa are always a good watch, and they don't do the sort of modern day slow passing, just have a lot of the ball. They like to fly up the pitch, go as quick as they can, which will suit Rashford.
And the way they play between the lines to play to the strengths of like Ramsey and Rodgers, it's just brilliant. Because like, okay, fair enough, Bailey's a more traditional winger; he'll stay out wide right. But when the way Ramsey comes in field and can take it on the back foot and drive through the third, and Rodgers as well. Honestly, he just goes past people that are not there. Brilliant ball carrier. So yeah, shout out Villa. Right. Smash a like on the video on the way out. Where did we get to? We got to 426. So we can get to 500 on the way out.
Of course we can.
Watching, so that's not bad going at all for a Tuesday morning. Remember, Flexing KG show later on as well. 6 p.m., 7 p.m. So make sure you guys lock in for that as well. We'll see you then. Take care. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. If you are new, we are out of here, guys. Peace.